Hello chaps, welcome back to another episode. We're here at the Bone Palace and today we're going to be going back to the Order of Whispers and seeing what they've got to say to us and all that various stuff. But first we need to do kind of a prerequisite quest kind of thing. This is another one of those quests that only becomes available if you've done other quests and you get no indication that it has become available. So yeah, first we need to speak to Palawa Joko, who's got a new quest for us. In fact, he's got two. But we're only going to be doing one. He says, I'm impressed, blah, blah, blah. We've read that so many times. Return of the Undead King is the one we want. The Fleshlings return, and not a moment too soon. My armies have disintegrated in my absence, and my former slaves have gone utterly insane. While I was sealed away all those years, these worthless shells shed their restraints and began to attack anything that moved. Yes, we're very familiar with that. They are a menace to everyone. Do be a peach and take care of them. I'll make it worth your while. I love the way this guy talks. It's brilliant. Okay, I will smite your rebellious undead. Right, so this quest is called The Return of the Undead King. It's probably a reference to, obviously, The Lord of the Rings, the last film, the last book. Let me quickly add my heroes as we run through. I'm gonna keep playing with my grid a bit because, like I said in the other episode, I want the rat to level up. It's a shame it's not high. Morgan or Zed? I'm gonna go with Zed. Sorry, Morgan, but you've got a massive battle coming up, and you're all at the front of the story at the moment with Varish. So we'll give Zed a little bit of screen time. Anyway, out into Joko's domain once again. Because yeah, I was quite keen on doing this episode, guys, because we skipped over a lot of the Palawa Joko stuff, and he's kind of been introduced in the story. But if we don't do this stuff, I never really realised you could come up here. This is so cool. I don't think there's anything here though. There's a man called Thrall. Oh wow, look at this. You can kind of go around the outpost. Anyway, sorry, what am I doing? Yeah, so we wouldn't really know much more about Palawa for a while unless we come off and do these quests. There's lots of stuff to do with him. But yeah, so this episode's going to kind of be focusing on him a bit. Right, so we want to go over there. What is our goal? We need to stop the rampaging undead in Joko's domain. Okay, and we've got 6 groups to kill. I think it's a pretty basic just run around and kill all of these stupid-ass undead kind of quest. Oh, and there's another guy. Oh, that's not a name. It's just kind of a rank. He is weak, my master, but he is not defeated. One day he will be strong again, and we will destroy you all. See, it's so weird. You're kind of I kind of start to think of Palawa as being like a bit of a good guy kind of thing. But then you just think about what he's about and how he's probably just going to bide his time and try and take over the whole of Elona again. Anyway, monoliths and lots of undead. I'm not sure whether I should try and fight them. I'm really scared some of these guys are going to sort of come around behind me. Anyway, I'll speed the majority of this up. Right, I think the first group must be this one here. I'm just really scared of these Sandstorm's crags. I'm sure they're going to attack me while I'm fighting. Can almost guarantee it. Oh, look, and a load of monoliths. Wonderful. Yeah, there's no way we're going to survive this. Do you know what? I underestimate my team. I'm constantly going through this LP. I'm really worried I'm gonna fail at so many points, but I actually don't. I come through most of these fights. Not to brag, but... Oh, okay, so the quest's updated. 5 groups remaining. Where to now? Okay, around there. I bet this is just going to be a bit of a tour of Joko's domain. Next group, just outside the Bone Palace, really. This is quite cool, because you can imagine when we first did the quest to get to the Bone Palace, I guess you could have walked over here and sort of been able to see the wall, but no real way to get inside it. So you had to go all the way sort of around. But the problem is you don't really experience that in this game. You don't really explore anything because you always get the stupid little starburst guiding you all around. I much prefer it if a game is sort of designed around the idea of not being guided to every little location, because it actually encourages you to look around, sort of explore the world and look at what you're seeing rather than just sort of mindlessly following a single spot. It's one thing I was kind of hoping in Guild Wars 2 that they were going to get rid of. They've got rid of red dots on the minimap, which is great. It's brilliant, that. Because it means basically the whole thing's just going to become a lot more visual. But the quest markers I was also hoping was going to be something that got the axe. Or at least was less... they somehow introduced a mechanic that would make people less inclined to use it, for instance. Easy enough. And now we're just going forward a little bit. Hopefully it will just keep taking me on one direction, you know. I wouldn't like it if it, the next, so we kill these guys and the next one's all the way up here or something. That would piss me off. Oh, this is going to be another hard one. There's some more sandstorm crags and stuff there. Let's see if we can just get a couple. There we go. Yes, yes. Brilliant. Okay, cool. And just a little bit further south. Oh, and here's a site. Actually, there's quite a few of these I'm hoping to show you in the next episode. But here's some already. Remember ages ago, and I've mentioned them a few times over the course of this LP. Not so much in Nightfall though. The true giants, these massive creatures that used to live on the planet but became extinct. They're pretty much Tyria's version of dinosaurs. You see a lot of them out here in the Crystal Desert, out in the Desolation. Sorry, just like we saw a lot in the Crystal Desert. Again, it's kind of what I said back in Prophecies ages ago. It makes me wonder whether a lot of these things used to be sea monsters that sort of died on the seabed, and now they're exposed to the sun. But these are pretty much, as far as I can see, they're kind of creatures that lived at the same time as the Elder Dragons were last awake. And like maybe they became extinct because their Elder Dragons ended up eating them all and killing them. We just don't know. But yeah, lots of corpses of these we'll be seeing as we go through the Desolation. Right, okay, one group left and it's just south of there, okay. In fact, would you look at this? Except for this tiny stretch here where we needed a Janudu, we've actually been able to walk without going through any wastes all the way back near the remains of Salah, which is pretty cool. Alright, this must be the last group. And there we go. Quest updated, Return of the Undead King, and we can go back to the Bone Palace. Okay, so this quest you had to complete before you could go speak to before the Order of Whispers would kind of speak to you about the fact you're with Palawa. So we'll accept the reward for this. Excellent. I shall make sure that the vanquished stay that way. The fact that those slaves broke their bonds is an outrage, but they won't be bothering anyone again. Yeah, there's actually follow-up quests and all kinds of stuff to do with Palawa. We will be returning to him soon enough though, but let's go speak to the Order of Whispers back at the Chantry of Secrets. We're also rank 2 Lightbringer now, which means we can speak to that guy and get another new special skill. Whether I'll use it that much is a bit in the air. I don't know whether I'll use it, but yeah, let's speak to this guy. He says that we're now an adept Lightbringer and that we can be trusted with the secret of the Order of Whispers, the Lightbringer's gaze, and this will help us fight Abaddon's servants. And pretty much it just does a load of damage if they're one of Abaddon's demons, or you know, that kind of thing, which is pretty cool. There's also another one we get when we're rank 3, but we're not quite rank 3 yet, so hopefully I'll come back for that before we go face off with Varesh. Right though, but I'm pretty sure there's a quest that there we go, this man here, the Whispers Acolyte, who's got something to say to us. Now this quest actually became available after all of that shit went down in Vabi and the Grand Court was desecrated. But we haven't done it yet. So, hello Matt Greenspring. The Order of Whispers needs your help. We have devoted our lives to protecting the land and its people from mystical threats, including that of Abaddon. Most of what we know of the God of Secrets comes from one of his creatures that we captured at great cost nearly 100 years ago. We interrogated this titan, Savio Prolinium, and when he would no longer aid us, we sealed him away in a tomb. During the recent storms, a great commotion was heard around that tomb. We need someone to go check it out. If something has happened, we are in even more danger than we thought. Be careful, for demons are appearing more frequently and may be seeking to free the Titan. if he has escaped, there is no telling how dangerous the area could be. Right, so as we know, we met the Titans in prophecies. There are these really mysterious things. They're like spirits kind of trapped, and they take the forms of creatures around them in a way, and the Lich Lord was trying to control them to take over the world. We don't know where they came from. I'll investigate this matter. But we do know that they came from a portal to a mysterious realm behind something the Masat had built called the Door of Kamali. Have you guys twigged it? Yeah, the mysterious realm that they were coming from is the realm of torment. So behind that door is actually, that's a way to get into the realm of torment. That's where all the Titans were coming from. And that's why they're such a big part of the Nightfall story. Well, not a massive part, but as we go a little bit further in, and now, you know, we're in the later stages of the story, we start to see them come back into the plot a little bit more. Which is really cool, I think. It kind of answers what is behind that. Well, we don't know what's behind the portal. We don't really know what the realm of torment's like at all. But, we do know that that's where the Titans were coming from. We don't know why they're created there or what their agenda is or anything like that. But we will learn that later on. Anyway, this one was captured nearly 100 years ago, and he knows a lot about Abaddon. Which makes sense, considering they're in the realm that Abaddon's been imprisoned. And, yeah, this is kind of cheap. But the tomb also happens to be Palawa Joko's tomb. You can either look at that as a bad thing and kind of cheap and say, oh, why couldn't they find somewhere else? Or you could think of it as that there must be some massive, awesome tomb down here with all these different rooms where they've captured and imprisoned all these various evil demon things. So think of it whichever way you like. And you see, last time we read the monument, there's also something here this time called Savio Prelemian's Tomb. By the way, all the Titan names are in Latin, if you remember. I don't know what the translation of that is, but usually you can translate them. And there's some Elonian, or is that Canthan? No, I think that's the Elonian language there. Anyway, let's click it. Beware, here is entombed Savio the rest of the stone is destroyed. Oh dear. So yeah, as you might have guessed, he has escaped. Right, so I think that's that quest done. Very simple, very nice little quest. These are the quests I like. Full of story. There we go. Couldn't find it for a second. Full of story, no crappy combat, bearing the whole thing down, and we're done. Right, now there is a follow-up quest to that, but it's not that interesting. I'll just tell you now. You find out that the Marganites are trying to were the ones who freed him, and now that he's been freed, they've decided that they want to attack, and you just stand somewhere and loads of Marganites attack, and that's it. The Titan himself, you see no sight of at all. He remains a little bit of a mystery. Okay, so the Order of Whispers welcomes you. You are safe from the worldly chaos here. It is as I feared. Not only has the descendant of our greatest hero gone mad, one of the servants of Abaddon has escaped. This is grim news. We will need to amass a force. We have been watching you for some time, Matt, and we know of your devotion to the people of this land. The Order of Whispers will be calling on you again. Right. And we get the reward. I have sent word of your findings to my superiors, and they wish me to give you this. The Order of Whispers will speak with you again. So there we go. And as I said, there's a follow-up quest, but and that would be this one. But yeah, it's not so interesting. You just stand there fighting Marganites. Now there is another quest to do with Palawa Joko here, and I'm not 100% sure what I have got to do. Let's rezone. And hope that that's worked. Either that or... Oh, no, there we go. Yay! So, yeah, you rezone, and then this guy, this Whispers Adept, has also got a quest for us. I don't know why that didn't update automatically. I don't know why we had to rezone. Awesome looking statue of Grenth there. Right. So this guy says... Matt Greenspring, you are playing a dangerous game. Palawa Joko is not to be trusted. While he may help you find Varish, do not doubt for a moment that he will stab you should you turn your back on him. For years he raided Vabi and left a swathe of destruction from corner through the Desolation. To cover that much ground, it's evident that Joko knows something that we don't. Keep your guard up at all times and find this hidden passage to Vabi. Who knows how long he will continue this uneasy alliance. Okay, I'll see what I can find out. So now we go on a bit of a quest to find this hidden passage, which I've talked about loads. The Vabian Mines. We're actually kind of going to see it a little bit. A lot of the quests to do with there only become available when we see what happens if we pick the Order of Whispers, the Master of Whispers. But we will see a pretty decent amount of it here. So, this quest is called the Scourge of Vabi, which I quite like. He says, "You ask too many questions, wormbait. If you hadn't helped me regain my throne, I would strike you down for impudence. While I was sealed inside of that accursed tomb, one of my generals took control of my army and then stole my scepter. Teach this traitor a lesson and return my scepter to me. With this troublemaker out of the way and the scepter back in my possession, I will have no trouble keeping the others in line. Who knows, I might even tell you what you want to know." I think this quest is a little bit weird because you can obviously see he's got his scepter. Maybe just an oversight, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure this is meant to be his unique scepter. But there you go, that's just the way it worked out. So we go back into the alkali pan, which we haven't really explored much of. I'll tell you now, guys. You can see sort of the colour of the map here, very similar to the Crystal Desert. That's because this is kind of the area where it connects. And there's an explorable area here called the Crystal Overlook that comes just off of the alkali pan. There's quite a few areas we still haven't explored. And we'll be seeing those in the next episode, I assure you. Wow, we're going all the way over there, are we? I thought there was a guy I could speak to here. General Farrand? Is this the guy? He says, "This is a surprise. It's been a while since I've seen living, breathing men and women out here. Do you have business with my Lord Kara?" I believe Kara is the person we want to speak to. We just got the objective is just find his scepter. One of these quests where we inexplicably know where to go. Is everyone in their worms? Good, they are. Yes. Hello, Mr. Priest. Wow, despite the environment, this is quite pleasant. We haven't been in any fights. Oh, no, there we go. There's a big worm. Let's just run from it. Run from it, guys. Run, 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 run. Can't be bothered to fight. Some maces. Salajar's the Dead's words are a reminder to me that centaurs must fight, not only for their bodies, but for their very souls. Was that because Salajar was talking about the undead centaurs? Oh, speaking of which, are right in front of us. Something quite funny about them, guys, is the undead. There's like all these disputes about female centaurs, and like supposedly we've never seen them. But like some of these undead centaurs, if you look, they've actually got boobs. So people don't know. There you go. See, so people don't know whether this is what happens kind of with female centaurs, whether they've kind of fallen into the traps of most fantasy races, where the developers just slap boobs and makeup on it and say that it's a woman or not. So that's why the female centaurs are kind of a hot debate a while ago. But this is like the only example of them ever existing. More bones, as you can see, lots more bones. And just ahead, hopefully, we'll find the scepter. Okay, mandragores, a big group of undeads. I can't see anyone with a name. Can you guys see someone with a name? I can't. Well, let's see what we can do. Let's try and get these undead first. Oh no, I see one. Okay, he's called the Rebellious General. I guess this isn't the quest I thought it was, unless his name changes when we kill him. Let's see what we can do. Oh no, we killed him and he just drops the scepter. Alright, never mind. There's another quest where you kill pretty much another rebellious general as far as I can see. But the general's called Kare Ossa. And it never explains the second name, but the second name is Ossa. Which kind of implies that maybe one of the Ossa line also went up into the Desolation at some point. And ended up becoming one of Palawa's troops or something. It's quite weird, isn't it? But yeah. Palawa Joko. Hello! He says, "I'm impressed by your confidence on the battlefield." Jesus, why do I keep reading that? He's okay, so the Scourge of Vabi. "Normally, I would reward you by making you replace him, but I'm feeling, what is the word? Generous." Okay, Palawa, thank you very much. "On the eastern edge of my domain, there is a portal that leads into the Vengean mines. Of course, a secret portal that is no longer a secret is useless. Now, take your information and go before I make you my newest general." Don't need to tell me twice. So, the last part of the quest is actually finding it. Which is probably the more interesting bit in my opinion, because we unlock a new outpost. An outpost which I thought we probably weren't going to be going to in the LP until the very end when we see all of the other options. But no, we can actually see it now. Yeah, it's called the Basalt Grotto, which is pretty sweet. And someone actually brought it to my attention recently that You know, it's called the Basalt Grotto, which kind of implies that maybe there was volcanic activity here. I don't know all too much about that kind of stuff, but it is interesting to think that maybe up in the Desolation, at one point in Tyrion's past, there were volcanoes and stuff here. I mean, if you look here, there are snow-capped mountains, which you can never go to. So yeah, I mean, who knows? There's so much stuff. Like, look at this island here. That looks like a volcano. But yeah. We'll see it when we see it. Hopefully I can get to it reasonably quickly. Here we go. Okay, so pretty much this area here, back in Vabi, you remember when we were here at Jina's Hoard? If we'd kept coming along, there was an explorable area, and if we'd just sort of decided we wanted to explore a little bit, we could have come to this place here, and we could have got sort of an early taste of the Desolation, really. And this would have been the first thing we'd seen, really, all these massive claws and the big long plains. From coming down here to the Basalt Grotto, which, yeah, have we found the hidden passage? Oh no, we have to walk right outside it. And there you go, that's that quest complete. We can go in. And I've got to say, this is one of those outposts where you only really find it if you go right out of your way. There's not much stuff here. There's material traders, which is quite weird. Lots of stuff in that regard, but like no quests really, nothing like that. It's just a cool place. Let's read the description. It has long been rumoured that there exists a safe passage between the Desolation and Vabi, a passage discovered and used to brutal effect by Palawa Joko when he invaded. The winding passages of the grotto are known to but few, who guard that knowledge jealously, out of fear or greed. And yeah, it's just a reasonably cool place. The moon was ringed last night and I saw 3 shooting stars. These are omens of nightfall. Okay. But yeah, right, so that was this outpost. Let's go on back. And report to the Order of Whispers about Palawa's thing. So now, obviously, they can defend that, and hopefully he won't attack. It doesn't seem to be a top priority of Palawa's to attack us at the moment, I must say. Now that we know how he moved his forces, we can prepare for his next invasion. He will attack again, I am sure of it. It may not be soon, but Palawa Joko can wait until we are dead and gone. Sooner or later, he will seek rule over Alona again. The Scourge of Vabi can hold his breath for an eternity, if need be. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for Palawa, guys. I'm not going to be talking about him too much more in the LP as much as I can see. Just know that exactly as that Whispers Adept says, really, he's this just mysteriously undead, immortal guy that's biding his time, and yes, come Guild Wars 2, he is the ruler of Alona, and in fact his forces are, as far as I can see, his undead forces are locked in a massive kind of war with Zaitan's undead forces, because Zaitan's at Ore, which is right near the Crystal Desert, and Palawa is in the Crystal Desert as well, because he kind of makes that his domain, because I believe he dams the River Elon again, and it kind of floods the Crystal Desert and brings a bit of life back to it. So yeah, really interesting stuff coming up with Palawa. The storyline of Nightfall kind of moves past him though, but that's kind of everything you need to know about him. He's a cool guy, I like the character. It'll be really interesting to see what they do. I mean, Zaitan's the primary antagonist of Guild Wars 2, as we know. Does that, and if he's at war with Palawa, does that mean we're going to have another uneasy alliance with him? It'd be pretty cool if it was that way. And then maybe after Zaitan's dead, that will open up room for an expansion in Alona where we're facing off against Palawa again. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that was that. We probably won't be coming back to the Chantry's secrets again. I might come back off camera to get that last skill. But we won't be coming back until the very end of the LP when we see what the hell is behind this gate. Remember this? Yeah, so yeah, next episode, guys, is the one I've been looking forward to most. It's where we look at that portal and we kind of get all of these things to do with the Crystal Desert and stuff. It's quite fun. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the episode, everyone, and I will see you next time.